Hello everyone and welcome back to Cheese Corner. Today we're going to be covering the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way. First off, we're going to start with Joanne and Sean. Joanne is sharing with us that if everything goes well in this trip, the next trip she makes is going to be her permanent move to Ireland.
They have to love him and they have to be okay with the move.
But last episode you were telling us and you were telling your children that it was okay if they were not okay with him, that if they didn't like him, you would accommodate, right? But you're a liar, and you always been, because the moment that you decided to marry this man without telling your children, you made your decision clear. You showed everyone who your priority is, and it's not your children. Her oldest child then says that he is actually nervous to meet Sean because
my mom is really gonna want my opinion. I feel like I'm gonna be able to see through him if he's not for real.
Even if she does were to ask him, which I don't think is gonna happen, but if it does, what is that going to do? That woman already made many decisions without consulting them. I think if he says anything negative about him, she's just gonna shove it under the rug and pretend like this never happened.
And if you ever come in here again with a goddamn opinion, I will shove it so far up your ass, you'll never see the light of day again.
Weather was nice today.
It turns out that her friend is also coming along with them because Joanne is actually going to stay in Ireland for a longer amount of time, and then the kids are going to come back with her best friend.
Noelle and I are super close. We don't keep anything from each other.
If you guys don't hide anything from each other, then why did you hide this from her? Grandma is also incredibly nervous because she doesn't know how the kids are going to act to a complete stranger that is married to their mom, you know, and she's aware of what's happening, but the kids don't know anything just yet.
And they're about to find out that that's their stepfather, because that's in reality what he is.
This is the worst.
I could go on a full-on tangent on how horrible this is for the children. I feel so strongly about prioritizing your children. And one thing that I don't like is when new man or new woman walk into the children's life and they just completely disregard the children. And the least that she could have done is just talk to them and be honest with them so that things wouldn't play out the way that they're probably going to play out once they find out that their mom was lying to them the entire time. We cut to Sean and he's sharing with us that he does not have a typical 9-to-5 job because his main duty is to take care of his daughter Bella Rose, that he still has not told her that he married someone else. He also shares that when Bella was 10 years old, him and his baby mama decided to separate, and as she was growing up, they decided that it was better for her to stay with her dad.
Bella means everything to me. She's my whole world. He's always get emotional talking about this child. Hang on, give me a minute.
I just find it funny when people say, oh yes, they are the most important person in my life, but I still haven't told them this. I still haven't shared this with them. I'm hiding a huge secret. So are they really important to you? Because if they were, you wouldn't be hiding stuff like this from them. And since he also knows that Noelle is coming, which is Joanne's best friend, he is just nervous because he's like, I'm an open book. I'll answer any questions. But what I'm not going to tolerate is someone being rude to me.
And respectfully get up and walk away. I don't tolerate bull.
Bella starts asking him if he's ready to meet the boys, if he's excited to meet them. And he's like, yeah, but I'm more excited to meet JoJo.
You're sus now.
Sauce? Why am I sauce?
Do you have a crush on her?
Girl, if you knew that your dad does not just have a crush on her, your dad married her. Even Bella's like, oh, it looks like you want to marry her, like you have a huge crush on her.
Bella only knows Joe as my friend. I didn't want her getting attached.
That this woman is coming all the way to Ireland with her 2 kids, with her best friend, and by herself, just because they're friends. Bruh. They all arrive, they say hi to each other, then on their confessional, Joanne and Sean say that they're not even going to tell them today or tomorrow. They're just gonna probably wait it out the entire week, maybe tell them at the end of the week.
But sometime this week, we'll definitely be discussing where the relationship is going.
Or has gone.
Or has gone.
This bitch!
And while in the car, it was kind of awkward because Sean was trying to like have a conversation with the kids, but you can tell that the kids were tired. You can tell that it's just everyone's just tired. And I don't blame them for being so quiet right after getting off the plane. Like, I'm not someone to talk to people when I just got off the plane. Like, all I want to do is get to the hotel room, take a shower, and go to sleep. And now it's time to cover the two plastics. And they have this stupid moment where Shekinah's like, oh my god, today is our birthday. We share birthdays. Can you guys believe it? Like, it was meant to be.
It's our first birthday together.
Same exact birthday.
I know.
And they're all happy about it. When they cut to the producers and they're having their confessional, they ask them,
Sarper, you were born on the 21st. And Shekinah, you were born on the 20th.
so what do you mean you guys share birthdays? You guys were not born on the same day. And they're like, well, we share the same moment.
We just born in the same moment.
And what moment do you guys share? The moment that your guys' brain cells died? The moment where your plastic cells merge with one another? Because that I do believe. So now the plastics are off to celebrate their birthday. And when they get there, even their parents are feeding into the idea that these two share birthdays.
How many couples in the world have the same birthday, right?
Bir işaret olmasın.
Stop feeding their delusion. And then Sarper's mom asked Shekinah if she has already come to terms with the idea that she's moving here permanently. And Shekinah and him start talking about the move, that yes, you know, she already has, that they're going to be moving.
Yeah, every 5 weeks for a week. And then, you know, she has summers off.
And then she hopes that during the summer, her daughter is going to want to spend it here in Turkey. But then Sarper is like, oh yeah, actually, I have news for you guys. We filed for the K1 visa. And parents are like, what is the K1 visa? And he tells them, you know, that he has to go to the US. They have to get married within the 90 days. And then after that,
Burada evlenemiyor musun? Yani burada kalamıyorsun.
Yani istersen evlendikten sonra belli bir süre daha kalman lazım orada.
what I don't understand is why we continue the conversation of you guys staying here in Turkey. Spoilers. We already know that Sarper is here in the United States. You already know that you applied for the K1 visa. So why even entertain the conversation of you guys staying here in Turkey? Of course, mom is not happy about this idea because her baby is going to leave. This is her only boy and she does not want him to leave.
Zaten bir torunumuz yok. Bilmiyorum, ben istemiyorum.
You can see that the parents don't want this to happen. They are not happy about this at all. Even though Shekinah can't understand what's happening, she can see their facial expressions and she can tell that there's something happening. And she's just worried. And also in her confessional, mom says,
No, ama yoksa oğlumun tabii bir Türk kızıyla evlenip burada yaşamasını daha çok tercih eder.
back at the restaurant, Sarper's mom asked Shekinah if her parents are going to support Sarper once he moves over there. And I don't think she meant it like in a monetary way, or maybe she did. I think she means it like, are they going to have a supportive relationship? Are they going to accept Sarper?
They don't ask anything to me and they don't care to know.
And they weren't even okay with her moving here to Turkey. They thought that it was just way too soon. You know, you just met this man. You're gonna move to a different continent for him. So mom is like, you know, what about your daughter? How does your daughter feel about this?
Well, Sophie is so influenced by them, you know, because they're my family.
And sure, she does not like Sarper. We have seen that in the past, Shekinah's sister came over to Turkey to meet Sarper, and she saw a lot of his toxic traits.
You are speaking too much, Shreya. You are so cute, but you are speaking too much.
So she took all of that information back to the US and told her entire family. And after this, of course, her family doesn't like him because he's so possessive, he's so controlling. Like, we have seen how horrible Sarper can be. And I don't blame them. When you're raising a daughter, you're not telling them to go find a man like Sarper. You're not telling them to go find someone that has a body count of 2,500. Of course, how can you blame Sophie when she is seeing her mom being treated like this? All of this is going to go back to your daughter. So of course she doesn't have a good impression of Sarper.
You have a family right now?
I just feel bad because you don't deserve it, because you're so wonderful.
And Shekinah's like, yeah, yes, but I feel bad for you because you're not gonna have that over there in the United States. And then Sarper's cousin steps in and she's like, no, I feel bad for you. This is when Shekinah starts questioning if her move of getting the K1 visa approved is the right move, because she's asking Sarper to leave his support system to go to the United States and have no one to support him other than her. What makes her afraid is to think that after all of this, Sarper might back down, knowing that he's not going to have the support system that he has over here. So she's just like, am I being selfish? Is this okay for me to do? Do I think it's selfish? No. Whose fault is it? Both of their fault, because Sarper's behavior is the only reason why your family does not want to be around you. And your family is allowed to set boundaries, just like you guys are allowed to feel like you have no support system. But at the end of the day, these are the consequences of your actions. It has only been 1 hour since the party, and now they're back at their apartment. We're actually seeing the camera crew.
Hey, Mom.
And when that happens, it's because something went down. The producer goes up to Sarper and he's like, so tell us what happened.
I just offered her to buy the vanity that she liked yesterday.
But she refused. And Shekinah on the side is like, but I didn't like that vanity. And she gets up and she's like, this is what happens all the time.
He just wants what he wants and he feels like he might not get it, and so he spirals.
Sarper is like, you see, this is the negativity I'm talking about. And now Shekinah is crying, saying that Sarper ripped out some of her extensions and took her phone away.
He ripped out my hair extensions.
I didn't rip her
ripped my
hair.
phone out of my hand.
And Sarper is like, no, I took your phone, and while I was doing that, I ripped out some of your hair extensions.
I never harm her. I never touch her.
Excuse me, sir, but you taking her phone away the way that you probably did, to the point where you literally pulled out some of her hair extensions, is touching her and is harming her.
That's vanity. I mean, it's my birthday. Her birthday too. Look at what we get.
Shekinah is packing up her bags. She almost has them packed already, so I bet that this happened right away, or she wasn't done packing and now she's just trying to get all her stuff and she's trying to walk away. She's trying to walk out of the house. And he's just like, yeah, I wish you the best in LA and your new life with all your LA parties, and moves to the side and lets her walk out. It looks like Shekinah's being taken to a hotel so she can spend the night there, because she's probably going to go back to Sarper. And once they're in the car, the producer starts asking her what happened. And it turns out that this fight started at the restaurant, because
Why don't you just let me buy this vanity? But I said, I don't want you to spend your money on a vanity I don't even like.
And that is when he started getting frustrated and started screaming at her. And once they were in the car, that is when Sarper started blaming her for his life decisions. He had a good life before she got here, that he had to change his entire life for her, that this is all her fault. And then once they got home, for some reason, that's when he chose to keep screaming at her, try to take her phone away, actually took it away, and that is when he pulled out her hair extensions.
And then he came over and grabbed my phone, ripped my hair extension out.
And when she asked him, give me my phone, he tried to gaslight her into thinking that he didn't have her phone. And then he went to sit down and he pulled out her phone and he was like, oh, here's your phone.
He was trying to make me feel like I was going crazy. Finally, he gave it back to me. He was like, come here, baby, come here. It's our birthday.
I think one of the main reasons why Sarper got so frustrated at Shekinah not wanting the vanity is because he wants to have full-on control over her. Anything that he says, he wants her to do it. So if he says, we need to get the vanity because you want the vanity, he wants Shekinah to go, oh my God, yes, I always wanted this vanity. And because that is not happening, it makes him do this, because he knows that this is the only way that he can control her. If Shekinah starts thinking on her own and starts acting on her own, then that means that Sarper no longer has control of her.
And he was saying, I want the old Shekinah back, who used to listen to me in the beginning.
She shares that it's not that she has changed, it's just that she has started to realize that some of the things that Sarper does are not right. And I do feel like she's changing. I know she's saying no, but she is. It is difficult at times to not feel like she's in an abusive relationship because she is. But there is the other times where Shekinah says that this is what she wants, that she wants this dominant man that tells her what to do, what not to do, how to dress, how not to dress, what type of nose to get.
The researcher, so he researched a lot of things first before he went in and told the surgeon, you know, the exact design he wanted. And I think he did a good job.
It just makes it difficult for us, the viewers, because if it was up to us, we would tell her, you know, leave this relationship. Don't be with this man. But she's still there. I think it's important to also know that according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, it takes a victim about 7 times to leave for good. And that exiting the relationship is the most unsafe time for a victim, because this is when the abuser feels like they are losing power. And that is exactly what we're seeing right now. I know she's gonna go back with him, and that is the most heartbreaking part to me because we already know that they are still together. So that's where I'm just like, what are we supposed to do? But I do want to bring that up because I don't want us to just look at the situation and think that it's just a stupid relationship, because let's be honest, Shekinah is in an abusive relationship. And the moment it's finally here, Corona is about to meet Ingi's parents. I gotta say that Corona was right by the face that she made for that fermented shark. A lot of you share that fermented shark tastes and smells like piss. I guess her reaction was on point. She shares that she is nervous. She is excited. She doesn't know how his parents are going to react. You know, all she knows is that they are old, that they are conservative.
And I don't think they've ever had a Black person in their home before.
Corona comes out with her outfit and Ingi's like, hey, you look beautiful, babe. And he asks her how she's doing. And she's like, I feel like I don't want to do this.
You say that about everything. Your like blind optimism sometimes is infuriating.
I am incredibly optimistic at times. And I can tell that at times it kind of annoys people when something happens. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be fine. The world could be burning and I'll be like, it's gonna be great. We're gonna be fine. Corona's like, what if they look at me and they go, you know what? I don't want Black grandbabies. And Ingi's like, that's not gonna happen. Don't worry about it.
It's a big deal that I'm finally bringing someone to meet them.
His sister has kids, his brother has kids. He's finally bringing someone and his parents are gonna be extremely excited. He's worried, you know, that things are not going to play out the way that they should. While in the car, Ingi's asking Corona was she so nervous, and she's just like, you know, because I never been introduced to anyone's families in the past, and I'm just nervous that they're not going to like me. And Ingi tells her that
everyone that I've introduced you to, I can't wait to meet you again.
I think Corona as a friend is incredibly fun. I think she's funny. I think she is reliable when it comes to having a friend. However, as a partner, I could see where some of the issues come. But like I said, as a friend, Corona seems like such a chill, fun person to be around. One thing that's making Corona feel not so nervous is the fact that they're going to Carly.
Ingi's brother, Carly, is awesome. He made me feel right at home the first time I met him.
Is that how you pronounce his name, Carly? Because that's what I was hearing, Carly, but it's spelled called. So I was having a hard time, but we're gonna go with Carly, which is how she's saying it. They're gonna go to his house. That's where they're going to meet the parents. And Corona shares that in the past, Carly has been extremely understanding when he has been in the same room with her and she doesn't understand a conversation or she can't keep up with something. He'll translate it for her, and he always makes her feel welcome.
Very nervous now that we're here meeting your parents.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's a big adjustment.
She likes him a lot. She says that that makes her feel a little bit more at peace with meeting Ingi's parents for the first time. Ingi's brother also seems to be a very warm person. He has this aura coming out of him that seems so gentle, so chill. He makes me think of my brother-in-law. It's just one of those people that you actually want to hang out with. And the parents finally arrive. Ingi's mom comes in with some flowers. She gives it to her. Dad arrives. He gives her a hug.
Yo! You speak Icelandic?
Jag talar somalisk.
Corona's speaking Icelandic. This is what I mean. Corona is just too smart to play dumb. You have dumbass James over there that has not learned a language in 5 years, and Corona right here. How long has she been practicing this language? Like probably about 2 to 3 years. And look at her. She sounds proficient. Her pronunciation of the words, I mean, I'm not from Iceland. If someone is from Iceland, can you tell me if her pronunciation is great? Because it sounds amazing.
Come to the family.
Hi.
Take small pie.
The parents are impressed. Carl is impressed. Everyone is impressed by Corona.
I wasn't expecting any of that. So it really makes sense that, like, Ingi's so positive. Like, he grew up in a very, like, nourishing home.
It's just heartwarming to see that this meeting is playing out the way that it should have always played out. So it's nice to see. Mom touching her hair was not a big deal. I know I brought it up in the last episode, but Corona says,
I do not let people touch my hair. Honestly, she could have asked if she could chop one off and take it home, and I would have said yes.
They all sit down at the table, and Enki's parents are like, hey, Corona, so how long are you gonna be here for? It's just like forever. He didn't tell you that I was gonna be here forever. And of course he didn't, because as we know, Enki just sees this as a normal relationship, just a girlfriend.
But like, I'm not even on his social media. So it's like, my guy, like, are you proud of this relationship?
While Corona is literally making wife moves for a man that doesn't see her the same. And then Enki's mom asks Enki, why Corona? Why made you pick Corona?
Everything about her, like, I adore. I have high hopes for what the future holds.
If someone asks my husband, why made you pick Karen? His answer better be longer than just 10 words. You picked me for a reason. I want to hear why, and it better be a good reason. I don't know, but his answer is not giving what Corona wants. I'm hoping that after Corona hears this, she kind of realizes more that she is not meant to be with this guy for the rest of her life. And their confessional, Enki's parents and his brother share that Corona...
Bara hún búin að hitla okkur bara gjössan upp á skónum. Wow,
but you know, only time will tell. And the pressure is on because mom is so excited to see Enki bring someone around that she just blurts it out. I want grandchildren before I die. In her confessional, Corona shares that even though it makes her happy to know that Enki's parents don't have a problem with having black grandchildren,
we should be talking about when's the wedding and not when are the kids.
But at the same time, Corona, you have been making wife moves already for a man that doesn't even want you as a wife. Do you really blame them for asking a question about children when you literally moved your entire life for him? And then on his confessional, Enki's like, yeah, mom, you need to slow down.
We've been dating for 4 months. Just ease it down a little bit.
And now for Dempsey and Stotler, nothing much happened. They drink sewer water, which tastes and probably smells like piss. They spit it out because it tastes disgusting. They decide to cheer with mimosas for breakfast. They are in a good place right now. I don't really know what to talk about when it comes to them because nothing really happens. But I did wanted to mention what has been happening behind the scenes. Stotler has been going online saying that she's gonna sue TLC. She has all this drama with Kenny and Armando on the side. And one thing that I want to bring up is the fact that she says that she has been perceived as the villain throughout this season. And I just don't see it. Like, I don't know if you guys see her as the villain this season, but I think what's making her the villain is all of her actions outside of 90 Day Fiancé. I feel like she's just digging for things right now, and she's trying to see what she can find and what she can get to help her argument. And for the preview, it looks like Tata is going to cry again, and she's just heartbroken because they're having this moment where they're playing with some of the kids of the family. Dad is telling James this is how it's going to be when you have children, and then it cuts to Tata, and Tata's like,
if James don't want to have a kid, it will break my family heart.
Is it for your family or is it for you, Tata? That's a very important question you need to answer for yourself. Shekinah and Sarper, they're going to make us believe that they're not going to get back together when they are.
And I feel like this is all a scam.
I feel let down. I feel betrayed.
Lily and Josh are going to have an argument because Lily keeps throwing it in his face that she's supporting him and that she does a lot of things for him.
Always reminding me how much she does for our relationship. It's opening a wound.
Do you guys think that Shekinah is being abused by Sarper? How do we feel about Joanne's selfish behavior? That's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and to let me know your thoughts on all the segments that we covered today. See you later, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye.